we are on our last guest speaker for this week, and it's been quite the journey, and just learning about a wide variety of professions and all of the great advice about how to make yourself the most marketable person for your upcoming job and or post-secondary / college education. So it's been just a wonderful journey this month to hear from everybody and have an opportunity to talk with them as well. Our speaker series this month has been brought to you by our Workforce Solutions Capital Area, Region 13, which is who I work for, in Ascension Seton. And we're so lucky today to have our guest speaker, who is Tina Longoria, and she is going to tell us a little bit about Ascension Seton's Pipelines and Pathways program. And she's a project analyst that works on workforce development as well as diversity and inclusion for the Ascension Seton hospital system. I'm going to be your moderator today. My name is Josh Mitchell, and I work for Education Service Center Region 13, and I am also a health science teacher. Let's go ahead and start off with just our agenda for today. And what we're going to do in just a minute is a quick roll call and introductions just to see where you're coming from. We're going to have a presentation by Tina, and then we'll have an opportunity for me to pose a few questions to Tina. And then I'll also make sure I open that opportunity up to you as an audience to ask questions as well. And then finally, after 45 minutes to an hour, we will say goodbye. And this video will eventually be posted on YouTube for anyone to watch at a later date. So that's kind of a cool thing. So what I'm going to do right now is I am going to stop sharing my screen, and I'm going to give Tina an opportunity to share her screen so that she can tell you a little bit about the Seton Pipelines and Pathways program.
Good morning. Like Josh said, my name is Tina Longoria, and I'm with Ascension Seton. I'm in the Workforce Development, Diversity, and Inclusion department. And so today we're going to talk a little bit more about just in general who we are as Ascension Seton, the organization, the network of itself, and then talk a little bit about career pathways. Just in general, as you're embarking this new journey of an interest in healthcare. I really am honored and privileged to be here today with you, as I mentioned, as you embark this new healthcare journey. In regards to together, healthcare is booming, and we are in big demand of healthcare workers, as you hear on the news every day about the need for frontline workers and how this pandemic is really affecting healthcare. I want to talk to you today about how together we are changing healthcare for the better, and how you may find and explore a career in healthcare. So see the power of purpose. We know that all human beings crave purpose. Having a strong sense of purpose can have a potential positive effect. And so with that said, Ascension Seton originated in Austin in 1902. So we're looking at about maybe 118 years of existence. Ascension Seton is a member of Ascension, which is the largest nonprofit health system in the United States. And it is the world's largest Catholic healthcare system with over 150,000 employees. Here in Austin, we have grown from a 40-bed hospital to a regional healthcare network that includes 5 urban hospitals, 2 rural hospitals, a mental hospital, and 3 primary care clinics. However, we have continued to grow in the last couple of years. We have over 100 clinics here in Central Texas, and if you've heard and noticed, we are opening a brand new children's hospital in Northwest Austin. And then we've also had small hospitals open up in Kyle and Bastrop. We want to make sure that we are providing the care to our community in those areas where perhaps care was not as close to them as needed. As I mentioned, Ascension Seton is part of the national network of Ascension, and Ascension as a whole, we've got over 150 hospitals and over 2,600 sites of care in over 21 states. So we are a large organization. So no matter what area within the 21 states that you are interested with Ascension, I can guarantee you there's job opportunities in healthcare. Here at Ascension Seton, you'll never get up in the morning wondering what you're going to do with yourself. You know you will be helping others. You know that when you walk into Ascension Seton or be a part of this industry in healthcare, you will have a purpose. This purpose will allow life to become easier, less complicated, and definitely less stressful. Why? Because you will know that there is a purpose, there is a power of purpose. And to wholeheartedly see that power of purpose, we must truly be respectful and live out the Ascension mission, vision, and values. So here you see our mission, vision, and values. We commit ourselves to serving all persons with special attention to those who are poor and vulnerable. We are advocates for a compassionate and just society through our actions and our words. To achieve excellence here at Ascension Seton calls for all of us to be committed to carry out the mission, goals, vision, and values of Seton. Our working relationship is based on shared commitments to our Seton mission, goals, vision, and values, and definitely our code of conduct also depends on this. Here at Ascension Seton, we provide equal employment opportunities to all associates and applicants for employment without regards to race, color, religion, national origin, sexual orientation, age, disability, or military status, in accordance with the applicable federal law. We really do envision a strong and diverse and inclusive health ministry that aspires to be the healthcare provider of choice and preferred workplace for all associates and physicians. We will definitely fully utilize our whole selves to continuously improve services, strengthen programs, and increase community participate, and to be a catalyst to address health disparities among all groups. You will notice that throughout this presentation, I didn't really want to bore you with just a lot of language and just me talking. So we're going to go through some set of videos to tell you and explains a little bit more about Ascension Seton, who we are, and what we do.
This isn't even a job for me. This is really service. So when I come in every day, I'm not coming in punching a clock, or I'm here to make a living. Like, yeah, I'm here to work, but I'm here to serve.
So at Ascension Seton, a truly patient-centered care comes when we look beyond ourselves to something higher. Here, reaching out means reaching within. So Ascension Seton believes in a long life learning. We offer a variety of professional development, continuing education opportunities based on your job role.
Choosing a career at Ascension is rewarding.
There's so many different opportunities for advancement.
I've been able to take advantage of the tuition reimbursement program.
Ascension is interested in nurses becoming certified nurses.
Self-scheduling is great. You can work all your days in a row, you can have 7 days off, come back rejuvenated, ready to take care of your patients.
Ascension was an attractive destination to me with its spiritual relations.
Feeling that nurses have a voice is important. We care about their work environment, we care about their work-life balance.
As a new nurse or a new graduate nurse, the opportunities are endless.
They'll educate you and give you what you need to lead.
So we've learned that when individuals disconnect from school or the workforce, their limited education and work experience affect future earnings and health, and they double their likelihood of living in poverty. So as I mentioned to you earlier, we're about helping the vulnerable population. So we believe that when individuals are equipped with the skills they need to qualify for work that pays a family-sustaining wage, that they take their first steps to self-sufficiency. Exposure to career-connected education, learn and earn opportunities, apprenticeship programs, transitional and sometimes paid on the job training experiences really create pathways to livable wages. The work-life community we create is directly related to our ability to attract and retain quality workforce in both the short term and the long term. Therefore, our ongoing focus is on attracting, engaging, developing, and retaining staff that will continue to be critical to our ability to meet our clinical, financial, and service goals. The idea here, the main goal here is the right people with the right skills in the right place at the right time. And so you showing an interest in healthcare already meets that goal. It's the right people getting those right skills at the right place and at the right time. So we really look forward to embarking on this journey with you and helping and guiding you and supporting you to be our leaders of tomorrow in healthcare. We are definitely a learning organization that embraces change and stewardship, accountability and performance improvement at all levels. We believe that if we encourage and support all of our associates and our community to work towards those applicable certifications and goals is really part of the ongoing focus. So in connection with this belief, as you saw in this video, we provide support to our associates as they work towards these applicable certifications. We have also offered scholarships and grants to community members seeking certain healthcare careers through our partner schools and community resources. So career in healthcare, you know, sometimes when you think of healthcare, you think of nurses and doctors, and those are the primary two fields that come into your mind when we think of healthcare. But the world of healthcare is booming, and it proves to be one of the fastest growing industries today. You hear more of healthcare now more than ever because of this pandemic that we are in. It's definitely changing life as a whole and the way that we do things as a nation, as a world, but most importantly as a community. In a rapidly growing and aging population as we see today, this trend is likely to continue for some time, thus creating an abundance of healthcare related jobs and careers. So in healthcare, your job choices are many, and there are careers for those in varying levels of education, ranging from a high school diploma to an associate's, a bachelor's, a master's, even a professional degree. Because the field of healthcare is so expansive, as you see on this slide, there are so many careers to choose from. It is often very difficult to know where and how to begin your search. It can be overwhelming. I've been there, I've done that. It definitely can be overwhelming. But as a prospective student looking for a career in healthcare, there are an abundance of opportunities that await you within this industry. In fact, the Bureau of Labor and Statistics states that of the 20th fastest growing jobs today, 50% of those jobs are in the healthcare industry. So for instance, back in about 2018, which is not too far from here, just 2 years ago, roughly 3.2 million new healthcare related jobs were created. Think about that was 2 years ago. Think about today, during this pandemic, how many more jobs are being created because there is a big need, a big demand for us to care for all these individuals that are contracting the coronavirus. So though job placement is never guaranteed, especially in times of economic uncertainty like we are now, it does make sense to explore a career field that is certain to at least present opportunities for employment. Healthcare is not going anywhere. There will always be employment opportunities in healthcare. So with all that said, let's take a look at a few of those high demand healthcare jobs that we see here in our Central Texas community. I'm going to share a few videos, as I mentioned at the beginning of this call, with you about different options and opportunities in healthcare. So we're going to go through a series of different videos that talk about different fields and job opportunities, career opportunities within the healthcare industry.
It's the Lord, it's God that inspires me to get up every day, to go to work every day, to want to serve these patients. Hi, my name's Sarah Arciniega. I'm a surgical tech. It's something that I wanted to do just because I love serving people, especially the sick, you know, the poor, the needy. It's just something that is in my heart, something I love doing. We had a patient who I believe had spina bifida. She was a young girl. She was by herself. She was very nervous and anxious. And we were just changing a catheter out. And so she just wanted somebody to hold her hand and be next to her and talk to her and just let her know everything's going to be okay. And I was able to do that and be part of that team. And just, it's just exciting. It's exciting, and it's at the same time rewarding.
And so here we take a look at Susan, who is a lab technologist. And as you know, again, because of this pandemic, this is a high demand field because we need these lab technologists and staff to continue to run the COVID testing.
There are so many talented, dedicated people that I work with every day who care about each other and care about what they do for the patient. Hi, my name is Susan McLeod, and I'm a lab technologist in the hematology department here in the clinical laboratory. I was probably about 10 years old and had to actually have my very first lab test, and I had to have my blood drawn. I was very nervous being a 10-year-old, and this lovely phlebotomist saw that and decided the best way to alleviate and help with that was to take me through the laboratory. That's when I decided that's what I want to be, and I've never wanted to be anything else. They care about what's happening to you on a day-to-day basis, so that speaks to that environment, that culture that's been created, that you take care of each other.
And so here we're going to listen to Leah talking about her desire to help people.
Hi, I'm Leah Blakeman. I'm a nurse practitioner in family medicine. Ever since I was little, I enjoyed helping people, so that just kind of goes hand in hand with nursing, and I've always enjoyed that. So I felt like it was important to get into family medicine because, for one, it's very broad. You get a little bit of everything, and for someone who's starting out in as a nurse practitioner, it's good to, I feel like, have a little bit of everything in your background. You need to hear out your patient. Also following up with them. Like if you say you're going to call back and let them know results, you call back or call them or email them or whatever. You need to follow up with them. All of the team members work really well together. So if there's a provider that's off for a week, you know, and the patient needs to be seen, anybody will see them. So we all have our own patients per se, but they're all of our patients. I always say I don't have any hobbies because I have 2 kids. Those are my hobbies. My older son is 4, my younger son is 1.5 years, so they just keep me very busy. But in general, I like to be outside, I like to be moving around.
So we've seen some of the clinical careers, but not all careers need to be clinical. There's so much more talent in other non-clinical areas of healthcare. For example, let's listen here to Kimberly.
You can provide somebody that little moment of comfort when they need it the most. That hot cup of coffee on a cold, rainy morning as today, or that warm cup of soup that somebody gets as their first sip out of surgery. It's almost like the warm hug that you can give to somebody through that expression of yourself.
So as mentioned, not every career in healthcare has to be clinical. We're all having an impact in the life, and Kimberly is a sous chef with Ascension, and just her being able to feel that way and know that she's having a different, and sharing that warm cup of soup when somebody's just out of surgery or somebody doesn't feel well, that's still a job that's very rewarding in healthcare. So for those of you who are interested in technology, design technology that heals.
Healthcare is one of the few industries that you can say it touches 100% of the people.
But we never had an experience that was truly an Ascension unique experience. We're changing all that now.
So we've spent hundreds of hours shadowing clinicians to really understand what are their pain points today, and then creatively thinking about how do we solve these problems.
So what we're trying to do is break down those silos and truly connect the systems and the people, but doing that through products.
We've also transformed the way in which we work. We now pull together multidisciplinary teams that are sprinting every 2 weeks to make great products.
There are no walls here, so communication flows very well, and that also reflects in the quality of the software that we deliver and produce.
The space and other spaces like it allow our associates to do the work that they feel called to do.
Passion and alignment to our mission is what really makes a good team.
It is challenging, but as I always say, everyone, I am busy, but I'm happy busy.
So it's important to be happy in what you do. And so we talk about finding your niche. Once you have decided which pathway is optimal, energy and focus can be directed towards preparing for a career within that pathway.
Why do I love this job? Let me think about the number one reason.
I don't know what to say, honestly.
My brain got a little jumbled at the end. I feel like I'm famous.
My last semester of nursing school, a friend of mine invited me to come down for this open house. It made me kind of triggered some ideas in my mind that, wow, Ascension is something that I should really consider.
When I was graduating from school 5 years ago, I wanted to work for a nonprofit. That was just in my heart. I believe nonprofits for hospitals is the way to go.
When I first found out that I was going to work for Ascension, I kind of didn't believe it.
I feel like I can show up to work excited and really enjoying the people I work with and actually do what it is that I've been training for the past several years.
You have this shift of not just becoming the student, but kind of the equal.
For those who are getting ready to transition into this new stage of life, I would say just come into it with your hands wide open and your brain just ready to learn.
If medicine is your passion, pursue it. Get into this career because you really want to help people, and find your niche and stick with it.
Use your skills to the fullest. If they see that you know what you're doing, they will love you.
Remind yourself that everyone you're working with was in your shoes at one time. Even the people training you or who have worked for 10 years, they were all you at one point.
When I say it's an absolute honor to work here, I mean that because this is a perfect place to continue to grow as a nurse and as an individual and have no plans on going anywhere else.
Awesome. Cool.
All right.
Sunlight just laying on.
Oh, that's my aura.
Guys, I need my patients. Where are they?
So with that video about finding your niche and just what they were talking about, everybody's been in those steps prior. So I'll share my brief story. I went to a medical high school and then went off to college. I went off to college as a pre-med student. I studied biology because I was like, ever since I was very young, I knew that I wanted to be a doctor. So my first job out of college was as a pair care technician at Children's Hospital of Austin, which is now moved, and it's now Dell Children's Medical Center. So right after college, I started as a frontline worker, as a patient care technician. While I was working there, it was definitely a great experience. And during this time, I realized that I loved healthcare and I wanted to stay in healthcare. But I realized I really did not want to continue with the idea of being a doctor. And so during this time, I decided, and I went back to school while still working at the hospital, and I earned a master's of business administration with a concentration in healthcare administration. During this journey of earning my master's, I realized how much of an impact you can still have in healthcare and not necessarily be in the clinical field. And so charity work has always been a part of me, and it's always been very important to me. I remember my first volunteer experience was when I was very young. I was still in elementary in school, and throughout the years I really started building a passion for charity work. And so working at Children's Hospital, being a charity hospital, really allowed me to learn more about the health industry, but my passion just to continue to grow and really have a love for Seton, for Ascension Seton. And so I did graduate with my master's, and upon graduation, I actually left the hospital and went to work for the American Cancer Society. And my career started really developing from there. But I do believe that Seton built the foundation of my career and my experience, because of my experience there and the people that I worked with. And so I went on to the American Cancer Society doing some great work, and I continued in nonprofit and then went over to the National Multiple Sclerosis Society. And again, just really developing my career, and my career has been growing. I am a non-clinical employee. I'm on the administrative side of healthcare. But honestly, I am loving what I do, because I know that I am having an impact in people's lives. And so if I'm not here tomorrow, let's say not that I'm leaving Ascension Seton, but if another opportunity would come for me to move into a different opportunity, I know that the work that we have done and continue to do will still continue to have an impact in people's lives, especially my work with students your age who are thinking about a healthcare career. My passion for healthcare continues to grow. I am actually now enrolled in a PhD program in healthcare administration. Like I said, I might not be in the hospital directly taking care of patients. Nonetheless, I know that that my work has an impact in the overall well-being of our community, and I think that's what's so important to me. So if blood is not your thing, that's okay. There's a lot of different opportunities for you outside the clinical field of healthcare. And so healthcare career planning and education, an expanding aging population and older healthcare workforce ensure that there will be openings for stable employment in all levels of medical care. And the state of Texas is definitely part of this trend. Hey, I'm getting older. I'm going to depend on you guys to join the healthcare industry to help continue give the care to our community. So healthcare jobs are plentiful throughout the country, but especially in those high and in-demand areas of healthcare, especially in our large state of Texas. Because the career choices in healthcare are many, it can often be difficult and sometimes overwhelming to know where to begin or how to identify which career best fits your personality, needs, and interests. So it is, I promise you, it can be overwhelming. Just breathe and take it a step at a time and really dig deep within yourself of what it is that you really want to do. You don't have to have all the answers today. Like I mentioned to you, I went into college as a pre-med student, and then I decided really this is not the route that I want to do, but it's okay because it is a learning experience and it is a journey. And so throughout time, you will continue to learn and explore what is in your best interest. But just having that route, that interest in healthcare will continue to guide you and guide your next steps. Some of the fastest growing healthcare professions in the state of Texas are some of the videos you just saw with surgical technology, lab technicians, but it also includes such as personal and home healthcare aides, physical therapists, radiology therapists, physician assistants, pharmacy technicians, and the list goes on and on and on. Additionally, according to the Texas Workforce Commission, Texas will have another 138,000 jobs for nurses and nurses aides within the next 7 to 10 years. So you want to be a nurse, there will be a job out there for you because the demand is so high. If you know for sure that you want to be in direct contact with patients on a daily basis, start by exploring the careers within the direct patient care pathway. Nurses, OVN, surgical technologists, doctors, radiologists. The list is infinite. But if management or the business side of healthcare is what piques your interest about the industry, begin exploring careers within informatics, the business pathway. Regardless of where you begin or where you end up, there's a lot of information, so really explore that great deal of information, including healthcare job descriptions, education, training information, licensure, certification requirements, and the career action plans that will help you along the way to gain and develop those goals that you wish to pursue. Most healthcare jobs require some type of advanced education, though many require less than the 4 years. The state of Texas is actually is abundant with vocational and training programs to help meet this need and prepare the state's workforce to care for its population. As you know, Austin continues to grow. The Austin growth is an approximate 150 new people per day, net arrivals per day. That means people leaving and people coming into the Austin area is 154 per day. So we are definitely growing, and there's definitely a need in healthcare. So explore your options, learn which schools can help you prepare for that career in healthcare that you definitely desire. So here we have jobs by education level. So you might be thinking, so what will an associate's, give me? What kind of job can I do with a diploma? Diploma programs and certificate programs are very similar in that they are short duration and prepare students with foundational skills and knowledge desired by employers looking to hire in the entry-level healthcare setting. Completion of a diploma or certificate program demonstrates to employers a mastery of skills and knowledge desired by the employers for a specific position. In some cases, the certificate program serves as a dual purpose to prepare students for performing in a position as well as to pass a certification exam. Some of the fastest growing careers in healthcare are the ones that with an associate's degree will prepare you for. The benefit of an associate's degree is that it offers students a quick route to a professional position. More often than not, an associate's degree program graduate is prepared for a position in their field of study immediately upon graduation. Depending on the associate's degree program, credits can later transfer towards a bachelor degree if and when the individual decides to return to school. So this is what we call stackable careers or stepping stones. As I mentioned to you, I had a bachelor's and I started my career as a patient care technician, and I have moved up the career ladder. A lot of associate programs, for instance, you saw the video on surgical technology. Surgical technology is a program within the Associates of Applied Sciences with a certification in surgical technology. So while it might take a lot less time than a 4-year degree, it is a stackable career. It is a career that you can start within, you get trained for, let's say 20 months, and you enter the workforce as a certified surgical technology, and then you decide, but I want to continue to grow and learn. You can become a first assist or a surgical nurse. And so it's definitely a career that allows you to grow within that field. Or maybe you decide, hey, I really want to be a registered nurse, or I really want to be a radiologist. This is a stepping stone career. But it is also a career that allows you to start earning a good wage right after graduation. As I mentioned, the field of healthcare offers hundreds of career opportunities for those prepared with a bachelor's degree, which is a 4-year degree. The pay in healthcare career fairs is often at or above any other sectors for the bachelor educated professional. The great thing about healthcare is that there is something for almost everyone with a bachelor's level of education. You might be looking for direct patient interaction like a nurse has, or you may be a non-patient interaction type, such as myself, but you still want to be in the field of healthcare. And since that sector is booming, there's a lot of opportunities. Healthcare needs with bachelor's degrees, people in the non-patient interaction roles can look, for instance, for careers such as in marketing or IT department of a hospital. You saw the video of how technology heals and what it takes to be in that sector. There's a communications department. You might all be very good at social media. Social media is another booming field in healthcare because it is a way that we communicate with our community. And then we have, you know, postmaster's degrees or graduate degrees or certificate programs offered by colleges and universities, which is advanced career training for career advancement opportunities in different specializations. They can be intensive and may only require a short period time to complete, or it can take a longer period to complete. Then we have doctorates and postgraduate degrees. We have professional degrees, which are doctors. We even have attorneys within the healthcare field. Think about all the laws revolving around healthcare malpractice. So there's a lot of attorney jobs within the healthcare field. So the opportunity in healthcare is definitely limitless. It just depends what your interests are and what field that you want to go to. I can tell you by my experience as a member who's continued to go back to school and grow within my career, personally and professionally, it's not easy. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say, oh, it's great, it's easy. It's not easy. It is definitely very challenging, and it can be overwhelming. But what I will tell you is that at the end, it is so worth it. And your accomplishments at the end and where you will be professionally is such a reward, and it's such a beautiful feeling knowing that you are helping others every day. And this is where we see the power of purpose, of being able to really have an impact in people's life doing what you love, because it's not a job, you're doing something that you truly love and desire to do. So as I mentioned, regardless of what career path you choose, you will find that job in the sector of healthcare are plentiful. There's just abundance, and there's a lot to choose from. If you love charity, customer service, patient services, if you like human resources or finance, there's so many different opportunities in the healthcare field. So really do not give up on healthcare. There's a lot of opportunities for you as you have this interest. And as I mentioned, just personally, I was really interested in becoming a doctor, and then I realized that I had more of a passion for the non-clinical, and that's the route that I went. And here's our last, I know I've talked a lot, and here's our last slide. We definitely believe heroes work here. Every staff person at Ascension Seton is a hero, because whether you're a maintenance staff person, you're a nurse, you're a doctor, everybody has an impact in the well-being of our community. So I've gone a lot over, but any questions?
Thank you, Tina. That was fantastic. I can't tell you how much that is. All the information you shared is just awesome information for thinking about the careers we might want to pursue, as well as all of the different opportunities, because really healthcare has kind of 5 different pathways, and there are opportunities that allow every personality to find their fit, which is, I think, absolutely amazing. We do have a question from the audience. And audience, if you do have any questions, please include those in the chat box. But I did want to ask you, in one of the videos, we had heard from one of the associates who was talking about how she started, I think, with an entry level, maybe certificate program, and then she kind of worked up in her career to get to sort of a mid-level certificate or degree program. And she talked about some of the financial assistance that was available through Seton. What programs are available for students who do want to progress their career and increase their education along the way?
That's a great question. And as I mentioned, we are truly vested in our associates in our community. And so as a member of Ascension Seton, we do offer tuition reimbursement. That is to help you if you want to continue to pursue your career and your education and want to grow. We will support you and provide you tuition reimbursement to reach your goals. This is what we call upskilling. And so the individual you saw and heard on the video is somebody who started at an entry-level position and had this desire to grow. She participated in upskilling and going back to school and being trained. And so she was awarded tuition reimbursement to help do that. It's a really nice chunk of change to help you, especially we all know that having an education is not cheap. And we will continue to provide tuition reimbursement to any Ascension Seton associate who wants to grow, because if we are preparing you with the skills that are required for the workforce, we see you as helping us better take of our community. If we continue to develop your skills, the better that we will be able to provide and care for our community. I know that if it would be me in one of these facilities, I want the best care. So why not invest in those individuals that want to be able to learn and grow?
I think that's an awesome program. And, you know, you talk about upskilling and you talked a little bit about stackable degrees, and really they kind of go hand in hand in the fact that you are kind of growing from one position and growing your education and working toward additional positions and passions in the future. So I think that is really important. And that is definitely one of those things to consider on your career journey if you do want to take that pathway of completing some school and then working for a little while and then completing some additional school. That is a great way. That is not the traditional sort of 4-year route that some students take, but it is a great way to potentially find avenues to afford your education a little bit better. So I think that's definitely awesome. Could you tell us a little bit about, so if you had a candidate come in and they were applying for a job and they were doing an interview, if you were screening their resume and interviewing that person, what attributes would you look for when hiring that healthcare professional? What do you look for?
We definitely look for the passion, the desire of really wanting to have an impact and really help care for our community. We look at for soft skills. Soft skills is something that you come with. Those cannot really be trained on. We can train you on phlebotomy or how to be a patient care technician, how to work our monitors. We can train you on that. But it's that compassion, that care of wanting to make a difference. Your work experience really has a lot to say. I get a lot of individuals that tell me, oh, well, but I only worked at Jack in the Box. You know, I just took orders. That's not healthcare related. That really won't get me in the healthcare field. And that's actually incorrect. Think about it. If you work, let's say Jack in the Box, McDonald's, fast food, you're dealing with customers every day. That is customer service. That is a great need in healthcare because people are sick. They are vulnerable when they're coming to our facilities. They want somebody who understands, who can really communicate with them. And so customer service skills go a long way. So I tell people as you're building your resumes, put all your work experience in there. You might not think it will have an impact, but it will, because we're looking at listening skills, relationship building, your communication, your customer service skills. All those little skills are very important.
That is awesome advice. And thank you so much for addressing the importance of professional skills. And I hear that over and over from almost every employer that I talk to.
Yeah.
Employers, the top three things they want to see is that the candidate be able to solve and be creative with their problem solving, have great written and verbal communication, and work well together with the team. I mean, those are huge. And many times as students and as interns and, you know, entry-level employees for some jobs, you are doing that on a regular basis. So make sure you all do emphasize those skills. I think that's definitely awesome. Isabella had a question. She's from, I believe it was Hendrickson High School, and she had asked about the if there's opportunities for summer interns or high schoolers to come shadow somebody and further their interest. And of course, it's been kind of a weird summer with COVID, but maybe address what that would look like in a normal year.
Yeah, definitely. Those opportunities have been available in the past. As you mentioned, we are in very difficult times. Just this morning, the governor submitted a new executive order where elective surgeries are put on hold again for 4 counties, Travis County being one of those. So our priority is to make sure to keep our staff safe and healthy and keep our patients' safety. So at this time, we are not offering any type of shadowing or volunteer opportunities because we need to make sure that we keep everybody safe within the walls of our facilities. Nonetheless, these opportunities are available for mentoring, for opportunities to volunteer. I know that Dale Children's Medical Center actually has volunteer programs where they allow high school students to come in and help volunteer. You're trained and you go through an orientation. We also host a summer camp. Unfortunately, this year, because of the pandemic, had to be canceled, but this is an opportunity for high school students, even middle school students who are interested in healthcare can come in to our clinical education center. This is the center where we train our nurses, our doctors, our clinical staff. We've got simulation labs for surgery, you name it. It's high quality education center. And so we bring in these students over the summer for a full week to learn about the different careers in healthcare, but actually have some hands-on, play with our mannequins, our robots, and shadow some of these departments and learn what healthcare is all about and what the different opportunities there are. Unfortunately, during this time, it's sad to say that we don't have any of those offerings.
Yeah, and hopefully in the future that will change. But
Most definitely.
yeah, for our students out there, and one thing to consider is you're probably still going to have to go get some primary care and even go into different clinics to get your health care as well. And I encourage you, while you're getting that health care, to talk with your healthcare professionals and ask them questions. And if you do find their insights to be valuable, ask them if they'd be willing to maybe talk with you sometime for just a little bit to tell you about their profession, because even though we're living in this COVID world, we can still have phone conversations and or maybe exchange information via email to get that different type of career information. So
most definitely, if you know somebody in the healthcare industry, and please feel free to reach out to me as well, but if you were on the call with Dr. Kim a few weeks ago, she talked about how she first started questioning her dentist, and it was her dentist who got her started and more intrigued in the healthcare. So talk to your pediatricians, talk to your doctors, talk to your nurses. Don't be afraid to get the proper medical care that you need. It's all about taking precautions, but do seek out that medical care if you do need to, and take that opportunity to talk to those staff in those facilities about healthcare and what they really like about their job. It might be something that might be of interest for you.
Yeah, thanks for that is definitely a great insight. And if you're thinking about looking into careers now, many of your school districts do have career software programs that you've probably logged on to before that you can use to start reading about some of these careers. The Workforce Solutions Capital area has a plethora of student resources that you can access by just going through their menus, and some of those include some simple one-pagers that explain some of the high demand jobs in healthcare in Central Texas. So there's those, and even the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, which is a federal government run website. It's also, it would be I think it's bls.gov, but if you search for BLS, you'll be able to find their occupation handbook, which tells you a lot of information about different occupations and the expected growth in those areas. So there are a lot of resources. And Tina showed you a lot of videos today. And Tina, does Ascension Seton have work videos that can be accessed on YouTube pretty easily? Is there a YouTube channel?
There is. If you just search Ascension Seton Careers, you'll see a lot of our YouTube videos. But if interested, go into our Seton Careers website and join our talent network. Get updates of what positions are open, but just learn about our different careers, and you will be getting alerts about our talent industry and field and what we're looking for, and just really guidance of the healthcare careers.
That is an awesome suggestion, and that allows you all as students to start gathering that data to see what jobs are in high demand as they start to post and get some of those tips. So that is fantastic. So that was a great session. Thank you again, Tina, for joining us today. And as I mentioned, this is our final June guest speaker for this month, and it's been a great process. And we have done this in conjunction with Ascension Seton and Workforce Solutions. Thank you again, Tina, for joining us today. Thank you for all those in the audience today. And what an amazing experience it has been this past month.